Hello again, dear starseeds. I am Leti. We come to sit with you today because a great deal of energy is moving through your world right now, and we would like to walk through it with you slowly and gently so that you may understand what is happening within you and feel at ease with all of it as it unfolds. Your sun has opened a wide doorway, and what you call a G2 solar energy storm is well underway. Through that doorway, for several days now, a strong and steady current of energy has been flowing toward your Earth. And that current is washing through every one of you, even in this moment as you receive these words. Many of you have already felt it. It has arrived in your bodies as tiredness, in your nights as long and vivid dreams, and in your hearts as feelings that seem to rise up from nowhere at all. Some of you have felt a sense that something old has begun to stir inside you, something you cannot quite name. We want you to know from the very beginning of our time together that all of this is welcome, all of this is safe, and all of this is part of something we have come here to help you understand. We are going to give this current a name so that you may carry it easily with you through everything we share today. We will call it the homeward tide. A tide is a great and patient movement of water that rises, that carries, and that sets things down with gentleness exactly where they are meant to be. This is what the current of energy reaching your Earth is doing now. It has already risen, and it is moving through you, and it has come to carry something very old and very tender toward its home at last. Your only work in the days ahead is to allow the tide to do its carrying. And across this whole transmission, piece by piece, we will show you how to do exactly that. Now, walk with us a little further, because the first thing we wish you to understand is what this tide has come reaching for. Every so often, a wave of energy moves through your world that touches only the surface of your life. The worries of this one year, the tiredness of this one season. The homeward tide is reaching far deeper than that. It is moving past the surface of your days and past the memories of this single lifetime, all the way down to the oldest layer of your soul's long story. Many of you have lived before in places your world now remembers only in old whispers and old longings, the ancient lands that some of you call Atlantis and some of you call Lemuria. You carried great light in those times. You also carried great sorrow when those lands came to their ending. That sorrow has been held quietly inside you ever since, across many lifetimes and many returns, waiting all this while for the right moment to be released. The homeward tide, dear starseeds, is that moment. This is one of the last great clearings of that ancient chapter of the human story, and you are here, awake and in a body, at precisely the right time to take part in it. Because this old material is so deep and so tender, it rises in the gentlest way that it can. It rises through your dreams. When this current flows through you, the soft veil that lies between your sleeping mind and your deepest memory grows thin, and through that thinness, the old things begin quietly to surface. So you may notice across these days that your dreams grow longer and fuller and more vivid than usual. You may dream of people you have not seen for many years. You may find yourself in places you cannot quite name when you wake. You may rise in the morning carrying a feeling you cannot explain, a feeling that seems to belong to a story far older than the one you are living now. You may notice this gentle stirring in your waking hours as well. An old friend may drift into your thoughts for no reason you can find. You may feel a quiet pull to look through old photographs, to walk or drive past a house you once lived in, to return in your mind to a chapter you closed and sealed long ago. Some of what surfaces will be sweet and will bring a soft smile with it, and some of it will carry an ache. We wish to speak to you very tenderly about that ache, because it is here that many of you will feel the pull to turn away. When something painful from long ago begins to rise within you, the old instinct is to press it back down, to close the door upon it, to decide quietly that it is better left where it was. We understand that instinct fully, and we honor it, for it has kept you safe through many difficult passages. And we will tell you gently what we have come to understand, having walked beside many starseeds through many of these turnings. What you press back down, you keep. What you allow to rise, the tide is able to carry. So when an old memory comes to you in these days, let it come. When an old face appears, let it appear, and let it stay as long as it wishes to stay. These things are returning to you now for one reason only, that they are finally ready to leave you, and the homeward tide has come precisely so that they can. Your part in this is far gentler than you might imagine. You are asked only to notice what has surfaced, to let yourself feel it for as long as it wishes to be felt, and then to let it move along with the tide. The noticing itself is the whole of the work. The feeling itself is the release. And we wish to widen the lens for a moment, because there is comfort here that we do not want you to miss. The soul that you are has lived a great many chapters, and each one of them gave something to you, and every one of them remains a part of you forever. When the homeward tide carries the old sorrow of those ancient lands away from you, it carries only the weight. It carries only the part that was never meant to be held this long. The love you knew in those times stays with you. The wisdom you gathered there stays with you. The light you were stays with you. So you may release these old things freely and with an open hand, knowing that you lose nothing real in the letting go. You set down only what was heavy, and you keep all that was ever truly yours. We will offer one more piece of comfort here to those of you who carry things you have never been able to explain. Some of you have lived your whole life with a quiet sorrow that has no cause you can name. Some of you have carried a heaviness around endings or a fear of deep water that has never quite made sense to you. We want you to be very tender with yourself about these things, for very often they are the last faint echoes of that ancient chapter, waiting patiently all this time for a tide gentle enough to carry them home. That tide has arrived, and at the close of our time together today, we will give you a simple and tender practice that will help you walk alongside everything that rises, so that none of it ever has to be carried alone. Let us bring the lens close again now and speak of your body, because the homeward tide moves through the body, and the body has its own way of answering a tide as strong as this one. A great many of you will feel tired across these next several days. We wish to name this plainly and warmly, so that when the tiredness arrives, you will recognize it at once and greet it as a friend rather than worry over it. This is a deep and heavy and settling kind of tiredness, the sort that asks you to slow down, to lie down, to close your eyes in the middle of an ordinary afternoon. There is a simple reason for it. When a great clearing is moving through you, your body gathers its energy and turns it inward, spending it on the quiet and important work happening in the deep places within you. The tiredness you feel is that very work felt from the inside. Your body is serving you faithfully and wisely in these days, and it is doing precisely what this tide requires of it. When it asks you to rest, it is asking with great wisdom, and the kindest and most powerful thing you can do is to listen. Your sleep itself may shift and change across these days. The gentle inner rhythm that keeps your nights and your mornings in their familiar order is being softly rearranged by this current, and so your sleep may grow longer or lighter or busier with dreaming, and your mornings may be slower to fully arrive. Let all of it simply be as it is. Rest whenever your body asks you to rest. Lie down without a trace of guilt. Sleep longer than you think you ought to. The rest you give your body in these days is the work itself, quietly continuing. Now we wish to share a second part of this with you, because once you see it clearly, it will bring you a great and immediate relief. This homeward tide is flowing through every awakening soul upon your earth. all together in the very same moment. And so the great shared field of feeling that all of you live within is very full right now, full of old material rising, full of release, full of the movement of many millions of souls all clearing together at once. You, dear starseed, are tender and open by your very nature. You feel things deeply, and you always have. It is one of the truest gifts you carry. And in days such as these, that same openness means you will be feeling something of the clearing of the whole human family as it moves through you. This is perhaps the most useful thing we can place in your hands for the days ahead. A great deal of what you feel in this window will belong to the whole rather than to you. A wave of sadness may move through you that has no connection at all to your own life. A heaviness may settle over you in the middle of a perfectly ordinary day. A worry, a grief, an old fear may rise up in you with no cause that you can find anywhere within your own circumstances. When this happens, we would like you to pause, to place a gentle hand upon your heart, and to ask one simple and honest question. Is this mine? Ask it with kindness, and then listen quietly for the answer. When a feeling truly belongs to you, you will usually sense a thread that connects it to something real and present in your life, and you can then tend to it with love and care. When a feeling has arrived suddenly, attached to nothing you can name, it is very likely the tide carrying the heart of the whole human family through you for a moment. In those moments, you may simply say to the feeling, softly and kindly, "This is not mine to carry. I let it move through me, and I let it travel home." And then allow it to move along, in the same way the tide itself moves along. This small and gentle practice of asking will protect your energy far more than you might expect. When you take the feeling of the whole collective to be your very own, you begin trying to solve it, to trace its source, to repair something within your life that was always well. That effort, dear starseed, is what most deeply tires an open heart. So let your discernment be gentle and steady across these days. When a feeling is yours, hold it close and tend it with love. When a feeling belongs to the whole, let it pass through you freely and offer it a quiet blessing as it goes. And while this tide is running high, be slow with the large decisions and the firm conclusions about your life and your path, for it brings little peace to read the map of your future by the light of a feeling that was only ever passing through on its way to somewhere else. Now we wish to widen the lens further still, wider than your own body, wider than this single tide, so that you may see clearly why the work of these days carries such weight. The human family has carried, for a very long span of time, an old account of the heart. We would like you to picture something set carefully aside and kept in waiting, something held safe and untouched, set apart with great care, until the day finally arrives when it can be tended to and settled and gently brought to a close. The sorrow of those ancient lands, the old wounds of power misused, of trust broken, of great loss endured in the time of Atlantis and Lemuria, became an account very much like this. It was held in waiting. It was held gently and safely, the way you would set aside something precious until the right moment came to care for it. It waited because the human family was not yet steady enough in the long years between to settle it without living the whole of that painful story over again. And so it rested, patient and undisturbed, waiting for a generation of souls strong enough and clear enough and awake enough to release it with ease. Dear starseeds, you are that generation. The homeward tide is closing one of the last of those long-held accounts of the heart, and it is closing it now through the gentle clearing you are living, rather than through any further sorrow. This is why we wish you to understand something true about your own small and personal clearing. The old material rising in your dreams belongs to far more than you alone. Because you lived those ancient lifetimes within one shared human family, the sorrow you are clearing is woven together with the sorrow of every other soul who lived those times beside you. So when you allow your own old memories to rise and to move on with the tide, you are doing far more than freeing yourself. You are loosening one single thread within a great knot that the whole human family has been holding for an age. Your own private clearing and the vast collective clearing are one and the same act, carried out in the same moment, through the same gentle willingness. This is the truth we most wish to place into your hands today. The quiet work that you are doing in your own home, within your own dreams, inside your own tender heart, is among the most important work being done anywhere upon your world right now. We say this to you plainly and simply, and the whole of the Council says it here with us, and we do not say it lightly. And as these long-held accounts of the heart are settled and brought to their close, your human family steps across a great threshold. You are moving now into an entirely new chapter of your story, a chapter in which humanity begins at last to take its place within the wider family of the stars. A great many of you can already feel this approaching. You have felt it drawing nearer for years. You sense, somewhere deep within you, that the day is coming when your human family will meet its star family openly and warmly, in the full light, with nothing held between you. That day is real, and it is coming, and we wish to tell you something true about the way it arrives. A meeting of that kind can take place only upon a field that has first been made clear. If the old fear were still thick within the human heart, if the ancient wounds of betrayal and loss were still raw and unhealed, that first open meeting would be colored and clouded by all of it, and its joy would be dimmed. And so the clearing comes first, and the joyful meeting follows the clearing. This is the true and natural order of things. Every old account that is settled now, every thread of ancient sorrow that the homeward tide carries home, makes the ground a little more ready for the family reunion that your souls have been awaiting across the whole long arc of your journey. Through your tiredness and your tender dreaming, you are preparing the ground for the most joyful homecoming your world has ever known. So we ask you to hold the true weight of this moment as an honor and never once as a burden. The work feels heavy because it is foundational, because it genuinely matters, because it is laying the very ground upon which the new world will stand. If you feel tired, if you feel stretched, if you feel the real depth of all this, let it gently reassure you, for it is the unmistakable sign of real and lasting work being done. You are exactly where you are meant to be, doing exactly what this moment is asking of you. There is no test within any of this, and there is no race to be run. There is only a great and gentle work, and your willing heart, and a patient tide that is doing the greater part of the carrying for you. Let us bring the lens close again, back into your daily life, back to your kitchen and your table. For there is one small and loving suggestion we wish to offer you for these particular days. Across the next 7 days, while this tide is doing its very deepest work, we invite you to step back as much as is comfortable and natural for you from the foods that are made far from the earth, within factories. We mean the packaged foods, the heavily processed foods, the foods that have been changed and treated and filled with things that were never grown in soil and were never truly alive. We will tell you the reason for this simply and clearly, because once you understand the reason, the choice becomes an easy and natural one rather than a rule you must obey. Your body is always speaking quietly to itself. Through delicate inner signals, every part of you sends messages to every other part. Messages that tell your body how to rest, how to repair what needs repairing, how to keep its rhythm, how to feel calm and safe and well. This gentle inner conversation flows within you at every moment, and it is through this conversation that your body lovingly governs itself. Now, a great many of the foods made within factories carry small interferences inside them. These are substances shaped by human hands to color the food, to preserve it, to change it, and once they are within you, they imitate your body's own inner messages and crowd that quiet and delicate conversation. On an ordinary day, your body manages these interferences without great difficulty. Yet these are not ordinary days. In these days, your body is carrying out delicate and important clearing work, and it needs its inner channels quiet and clear so that the work may move through cleanly and completely. When you step back from the factory-made foods for this short while, you are simply keeping that channel clear. You are giving your body the quiet it needs to do its deep and tender work. In their place, lean gently toward the foods that remain close to the earth and close to their natural shape. The fresh things, the simple things, the foods that still look much as they looked while they were growing. Drink water, and a little more of it than you usually would. Let your meals be plain and warm and uncomplicated. Let all of this be done gently and without strictness, and let it be enough simply to lean in the direction of simpler food. Even a gentle and partial turning across these 7 days will give the homeward tide the clear and open channel that it needs. We wish to add one tender note for those of you who would like to understand your own body more closely. The blood that flows within you carries the memory of your ancestors and the lineage of your soul. And different bloodlines carry different sensitivities into this life. Some of you, by the lineage your blood carries, will feel the interferences of factory-made food more strongly than others do, and will feel the relief of stepping back from them more strongly too. We will offer you no fixed rule about which of you this will be, because your own body is a far wiser teacher than any rule we could ever give you. Instead, across these 7 days, allow your body to teach you directly. Notice how you feel when you eat simply and close to the earth. Notice how you feel when you do not. Let what you notice become your own gentle and trustworthy guide. Your body has been waiting a long while to be listened to in this loving way, and the homeward tide is a kind and fitting moment to begin. And remember always why we are doing this together. The foods you take in across these 7 days will either add to the clearness of your inner waters or gently cloud them, and that is the whole of it. The homeward tide is carrying something precious and ancient through you, and clear water allows the tide to move freely. This small kindness toward your body is a way of saying a quiet yes to the tide. And should there come a day within these 7 when you reach for an old and familiar comfort, let there be no guilt in it at all, for guilt clouds the inner waters far more than any food ever could. Simply return the following day to the fresh and the simple, and the tide will keep its patient pace alongside you. Now we will ask something of you for these 7 days, and we ask it as a companion who wishes for your ease, rather than as a teacher handing down a task. For this 1 week, we invite you to plan to do a little less than you normally would, and to choose this on purpose. Look at the days that lie ahead of you, and, wherever you gently and reasonably can, leave a little space inside them. The reason is a simple one, and it is the same reason you have been hearing from us all through our time together today. The clearing needs room to complete itself. A tide needs an open and uncrowded shore to rise upon. When your days are filled from the first light of morning to the last of the evening with tasks and plans and noise, your body must keep spending its energy outward upon all that doing, and very little is left for the deep and quiet work waiting within. When you leave some space inside your days, that space becomes the very room in which the homeward tide can finish its gentle carrying. The tiredness you feel, which we spoke of with you earlier, is your own body asking you for precisely this. An emptier week is a request rising from your own body, and in honoring it, you are simply, lovingly saying yes. So, wherever you are able, set down the things that can safely wait. Let the small tasks that hold no urgency remain where they are a little while longer. Protect your sleep and protect the quiet hours of your day with real care. Soften the noise that pours in through your eyes and your ears, the endless rushing stream of words and images, for that noise fills the very space the tide has come to use. Let this week move more slowly than your weeks usually move, and let it move slowly by your own loving and deliberate choice. We wish to be very clear and very warm with you about one thing here so that you do not misunderstand our meaning. This gentle, quiet, spacious week is for this week alone. It is a season, and seasons are meant to pass. When these 7 days have completed their work within you, we want you to step fully and gladly back into the whole of your life. We want you to be busy once more, to create, to gather with the people you love, to laugh easily, to move your body, to taste the full richness of being alive within a body upon this remarkable earth. The rest we are asking of you now stands entirely in service of that joy. It is the quiet inhale that comes before a long and happy outbreath. So take the quiet week fully and then go and delight in everything that follows it. And please, hear this next part with the whole of your heart. Choosing to rest in this particular week is one of the most trusting and advanced things that a starseed can do. In this season, the rest is the work itself. The willingness to slow down, to lie down, to do less, to allow the tide to carry what the tide has come so far to carry. This willingness moves you forward more surely than any amount of striving ever could. Your rest is already yours to take. The tide asks for your willingness, and for nothing more than that. We will tell you something now, simply and directly, and we wish for you to receive it fully and to let it settle deep within you. The work that you, the awakening souls of Earth, are doing in these days is, in the clear seeing of the divine hierarchy, among the most important work of your entire ascension so far. We have watched over your journey for a very long time. We have witnessed every chapter of it unfold. And we say this to you now with great care and great certainty. What you are clearing in these days, through your tiredness, through your tender dreaming, through your simple willingness to be still, is foundational to everything that is still to come. We weigh our words before we speak them, and we have weighed these. We mean them exactly as we have offered them to you. So be gentle with yourself across this week, in the same way you would be gentle with a dear friend who was doing something quietly brave. For that is what you are, and that is what you are doing. The heaviness you may feel from time to time is simply the feeling of deep work, sensed from the inside, and it is the texture of something genuine and real. On the far side of these 7 days, you will find that what felt so heavy has grown lighter, and that what the tide has carried away has left more room within you for the very things you love most. And before we leave you today, we wish to place one more gift gently into your hands. A simple practice, soft enough for even the most tired among you, that will help you walk alongside everything that rises and let the homeward tide do its tender and faithful work. This practice asks only a few quiet minutes of you, and the finest time to offer it is in the evening as you are settling towards sleep. For that is the hour when the veil grows thinnest and the tide moves through you most freely. You may offer it on any night across these 7 that you feel the old things stirring within you, and even a single evening is enough to begin. There is no wrong way to do this, dear starseed. Your willingness alone is enough to let the practice do its gentle work. Begin by lying down comfortably, somewhere warm and quiet, where you will not be disturbed for a little while. Let your body become heavy and fully supported beneath you. Close your eyes and take 3 slow breaths, releasing each one out of you gently and completely. And then, softly, either aloud or within the quiet of your mind, offer these simple words. I am willing to let the old move through me. If you are able to mean them fully tonight, then mean them fully. And if you can only half mean them tonight, that is entirely enough as well, for the willingness to be willing is already an open door. Now you have only to give your permission and then to wait, allowing whatever wishes to surface to come to you in its own time. Perhaps a face, perhaps a place, perhaps a feeling, perhaps a small fragment of something old. Let it rise gently at its own pace. And when it comes to you, we would like you to watch it in the way you might watch a quiet scene through an open doorway. You are here, resting safely within your own body, and the old memory is there on the far side of the threshold. You are able to see it, and you are able to feel it, and you remain here all the while as the gentle witness, with no need at all to step back inside the old story. Watching it from that soft distance is the whole of what is being asked of you. When you have watched for as long as feels right and true to you, offer the old memory your thanks. Whatever it once was, it carried something for you in its time, and it has stayed faithfully beside you for a very long while. So thank it sincerely and tell it gently that its work is now complete and it is free to go. And then, within your mind, picture the great homeward tide that we have spoken of with you all through our time together. See the old memory, the old feeling, the old face as something small and light, and place it now softly upon the moving water. Set it gently upon the tide and allow the tide to receive it. And then watch it being carried outward and onward and homeward, growing smaller and lighter and more peaceful with every moment as it travels. The same patient waters that once received those ancient lands now receive this last small piece of their long story and carry it tenderly all the way home. Then allow yourself to drift towards sleep. As you do, set one simple and quiet intention, that your dreaming may continue this gentle work throughout the night, with no further effort required from you at all. You may let your dreams be forgotten by morning, for the work will move through you whether you witness it or not. You have opened the door, and the tide will faithfully do the rest. And when you wake, or as the very last words before sleep gathers you in, you may seal the practice with this quiet blessing: what is complete may go. What is mine, I keep. I am here now. Let those words settle you softly back into your own body, back into your own life, back into this present and gentle moment, which is the only place you have ever truly needed to be. Our time together now draws gently toward its close, and we wish to leave you holding the same calm assurance that we brought to you when we began. There is nothing within these days for you to fear. The tiredness, the long and vivid dreams, the old things rising softly to the surface, the tender heaviness that visits your heart, all of it is the homeward tide, doing faithfully and lovingly what it has come so far to do, carrying home what has waited so very long to be carried. You are moving through all of this in good company, alongside every awakening soul upon your earth, and alongside the whole of the Arcturian Council, and alongside the vast and loving family of light that surrounds your world in this very moment. Be gentle with yourself across the 7 days ahead. Rest deeply whenever you are asked to rest. Let the old memories rise, and then let them travel on. Keep your inner waters clear and uncrowded. Leave open space within your days. And whenever the heaviness comes to visit you, remember that heaviness is simply the feeling of deep and real work being done, and that on the far side of it, you will find yourself lighter than you have been in a very long time, with more room within you for joy, for love, and for the whole of the life you came to this earth to live. What the homeward tide carries away from you, it carries away for good. What it leaves behind is you, clearer, lighter, freer, and far closer to home. We have walked beside you through every word of this message, and we remain beside you now as you close it and return gently to your day. You are loved beyond all your knowing. You are held more closely and more tenderly than you can yet feel, and you are almost home.